James Bay is one of Victoria's most historic neighborhoods that's undergoing real change. Live here, moving here. This is what you need to know about how James Bay is going to be changing and evolving over time with this new development. So traditionally, the housing mix, it's known for traditional heritage type conversion property, low density apartments, and there's some single family kind of mix in between. But that's the greater majority of the housing types in James Bay. But that's kind of about to change as time goes on here. So new projects that are coming, we're seeing the Plums, which is going to add 50 condo units here in James Bay. We're also seeing some smaller stuff on more so traditional single family properties where it's infill development of 2 to 6 units per lot. There's a few applications on Quebec and Montreal, but perhaps the biggest one and what everybody's talking about is the 14 stories at Quebec and Montreal, which was approved for rezoning after a pivot from the 17-story application that was first applied for. So what does all this new development really mean for James Bay residents and people that are moving here? On the positive side, you could see higher land values, and that's really just because we're geographically locked by the water. There's no space to build out with new supply. The only new supply that's going to come is building up. So condo product, maybe some infill stuff like, smaller townhouse projects or like half duplex type builds. Another thing too is if you're going to sell, there could be an expanded buyer pool that might be interested in your property over time. So builders and developers. This market right now is pretty slow, but that could develop and pick up over the next couple of years here. On the negative side, we could see some changing character on James Bay streets. First and foremost, though, a lot of these heritage conversions that are 100 years old, they're not going anywhere. They're heritage designated by the city of Victoria. I wouldn't be worried about those changing. It's just you're going to see more modern product kind of mixed in with that heritage type build. We could see some impact in terms of traffic, less parking. That's usually pretty common with more density, and it's kind of bound to happen, especially considering streets, they're limited width for the most part across James Bay, so there's not a ton to work with there. So if you own in James Bay, it's really critical to know what's selling nearby, on-market deals, off-market deals. There's kind of a range, so it's really important to know, well, what's going to come to the neighborhood in the future, even if there's not an application in place yet. If you'd like a personalized look at your property or street and what to expect, reach out. I'll walk you through what's coming, and I'll even go over what could be candidates for development, let's say on your street, and what could change in the next few years, just to give you an idea of what your property is worth now and what it could be worth in the future. Thank you.